Student Better United Way meets the needs within our community by funding more than 80 different services. We help children, vulnerable adults, and people in crisis through a variety of services. Good happens across our community every day through United Way funded programs, and that is especially true now as our community handles the impact of COVID-19. Joining us today to chat is Michelle Madsen from Lutheran Social Services. Thanks for joining us today, Michelle.
Hello.
So let's get started. Our first question for you is, will you explain to those who maybe aren't as familiar with your program Better Together and just kind of give us a short overview of what you guys do?
Sure. LSS is a broad statewide agency that does a lot of different programs, and Better Together is one small part of the work that we do to impact the Sioux Falls area. We're thankful for United Way support for several of our programs, but especially for Better Together. What this program does is it matches volunteers with adults who are 65 and older and living independently. So not necessarily in a nursing home or assisted living, but those folks who are maybe living in senior housing or on their own still and just want to get out, want to be part of the community, want to interact with the public, want to just have an extra friend or companion in the form of a volunteer. We're able to match them and support them through their experiences.
Yeah, and that's so important because research has shown that those older adults who are able to get out of their homes a lot more often will live longer lives too, right?
Yeah, we follow up with our older adults. We call them neighbors, and have just shown how much support they've gotten. I think 100% this last time of our neighbors said that Better Together has helped them feel more connected to the community, which is what we hope that they get out of being part of the program.
Absolutely. And how many on average do you serve, or how many neighbors do you pair up with a volunteer?
In our last year, I think we had 82 older adults that we were able to serve.
Wow, that's awesome.
We're always looking for more though. So if you know of an older adult who could benefit from this service, send them our way.
Absolutely. And what adjustments have you had to make during this time, since we can't be out and about as easily during this time of COVID-19?
Yeah, well, older adults are definitely one of the higher risk categories right now. So we've limited volunteers being able to meet with them. There are a lot of our neighbors are in the program because they don't have family local and just don't have the ability to go out and grab groceries or a computer to order groceries. So our volunteers have stepped in and helped with some of those things. Some of them have, talked on the phone with them and put in their grocery order and had it delivered. And other people have definitely been calling a lot more. We, as a staff, have been calling a lot more, and we just appreciate those visits with them, and we know that they appreciate talking with us. A lot of our clients, our neighbors, live in senior housing facilities and where they're independent apartments, but their ability to go to the community room or the cove or whatever you want to call it is not possible right now. A lot of them can maybe have one guest at a time, if that. So there's in their apartments a lot of the day. So those phone calls are really a source of enjoyment for them.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, even here we understand what that's like too, to be able to talk to somebody else.
Yeah.
As people are practicing social distancing, What can we as a community do for you?
Oh, that's a great question. We have been sending mail along to our neighbors. So if you have a kid that you're trying to occupy or just yourself, we've gotten some beautiful adult coloring pages. If you want to mail them to LSS, and I can put that address in the chat right now, but 705 East 41st Street. And then we will turn around and mail those to our neighbors in Better Together, just so they can get some fun mail and be able to enjoy that and hang it up and just be reminded that people are thinking about them.
Awesome. Yes, we will definitely share that when we share this.
And we also are still accepting volunteer applications. A lot of neighbors, obviously you can't meet right now, but we started a first match last week on telephone visits. They've never met in person. And I think their first call was nearly 2 hours long. So that's something that if the neighbor's interested in and we're able to find a volunteer that would be willing to do that with the expectation that when it's safe to meet in person, you would, we would love to have them.
Absolutely.
The little story last week was they were talking and the volunteer was talking about the garden they were going to put in, and they were so excited that when the tomatoes were ripe and ready, they were hoping that they'd be able to bring them over to the neighbor and enjoy those. So hopefully by that time, things will be settled down a little bit and we can meet in person.
Yes, let's hope so. That would be good. That's a great way to kind of, something for them to look forward to as well on both sides.
Yeah.
Okay, one final question, a fun question. Weather is warming up, and so we want to know, what is a fun outdoor activity that you do, or maybe that you do with your family?
We have been doing a lot of walking. So we are participating in the mayor's 100 miles in 100 days initiative. We enjoy doing that as a family. My son plays baseball, so we've been trying to do as much as we can in the yard and, base running simulations, and I'm doing more baseball than I ever thought I would, but what we do to help our kids through this is something. So.
Absolutely. Well, those are all the questions we have. I really do appreciate that you took the time today to meet with us and to chat a little bit more about Better Together. And we appreciate all that you're doing for those neighbors. And hopefully soon we will be able to all be together again.
Yeah, well, thank you for the United Way support. We wouldn't be able to do this program without it. And we're just so thankful and appreciative of all that the United Way does for LSS and the community as a whole.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.